It always comes to this. More nice shit. Hello there guys, back into another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I had showed off the, I guess, inner forearm again with Rick here. It's mostly peeled now, it's dry. Here we are at the end of the day. I usually make these in the morning, so I only usually moisturize once a day. I used to actually moisturize fresh tattoos like twice a day. These days I've gone to just like start of the day. I don't do any extra maintenance with fresh tattoos really anymore. I feel like the more you get, the less you care about like aftercare, and I also think that you figure out that less is more anyway, and the more you fuss with things, the worse it gets. So I still use just a little bit of Aquaphor. I've heard a lot of people talk trash about Aquaphor in this industry. It's more of a recent development that people do that. It was always known to be one of the best aftercare products for literally ever, and just recently people have decided that it's horrible for some reason, but I have had zero issues healing with Aquaphor. I think if there ever were to be problems with Aquaphor, it would be from using far too much of it. But again, you could have that problem with literally any aftercare, and if you're going to use anything at all, I would recommend a light amount of it. In Lethbridge here, it's very, very dry, so here at the shop, we only recommend Aquaphor or Green Glide, and Green Glide is the preferred healing for like Terry and Ashland. They like Green Glide. I find it a little bit greasy to heal with. They love using it in the tattoo process as well, so they have some patriotic feelings towards it. But way back in the day when Rick first tattooed me, and yes, Rick did my first ever tattoo. It's my son's name on my forearm. I've actually made a full vlog on that tattoo if you're interested. Actually, I think I've done two. He gave me a little cup of Aquaphor. He used to bring it in big batches, and he would portion it out, and he gave it in a little baggie for all of his clients the first time he tattooed them. And then he would tell them to go get a thing of it at a drugstore. You get Aquaphor anywhere, and it was $25 then for a tub of it, and it's like $25 now. You can get it at Walmart or any other basic store. And you know what? I've used every aftercare product on the market since, and I always end up back at Aquaphor, so it's just good stuff. In fact, I find Eucerin to be really good in general. I have a lighter weight Eucerin moisturizer cream that I use everywhere. I moisturize my entire body basically every day, right out of the shower. That's my go-to. I have one that's it's good for eczema and dry skin, and I use that one pretty well everywhere daily. It's real quick. People make a big deal of it. They act like you're like it's going to take forever to moisturize your whole body. It literally takes like 2 seconds. And in this climate here, it's fucking dry as fuck. So everybody should moisturize and hydrate, especially if they're planning on getting lots of tattoos. Out in our Kelowna location, it is a much more humid. There's a lot more rain, and they're, closer to the water than we are here. We don't have any natural fucking ocean or anything like that around us, so it's very dry, and out there it's very humid. I was out there for a week with my wife at the end of 2023, and my skin's hydration changed, or whatever you want to call it, seemingly overnight. My body's so used to a dry climate that going out there where it's naturally moist, my skin was drying out almost. It was really weird because it's so used to being dry that it produces a certain amount of moisture or whatever you want to say, and then going up there where you have that naturally, your body's like, oh shit, I have too much. So it was a bit different. But out there they recommend hustle butter, but they need a lighter weight moisturizer than we do here. So to make a long story short, some of that will vary area to area, really. So yeah, your aftercare will probably be a little bit different depending on the region you're in, and every artist has their own preferred method. Also, most of the people who get tattooed at our shop, we do use a Hypafix bandage. It's a lot like Saniderm. We've used Saniderm. We've used every Saniderm related product. I've used them as well. I don't find that they're helpful for me. And in fact, the only times I've had problems have been Saniderm related. So I don't believe I'll ever really use them again. I don't think they're great for a lot of color packing anyway. I think they're better for smaller tattoos and illustrative or black and gray realism, things that have some skin break for the fucking wrap to adhere to. Usually with a full color tattoo, and I know some people are going to push back on this, but they tend to slime off, and then it's the second day you can put it on a second one and it will adhere better, but a lot of times, like, it's just not worth the hassle. I think it's for a full color tattoo. In my experience, it's been better off with just a small amount of moisturizer. I've had zero problems healing my tattoos since before anyone used Saniderm, so to me it was an unnecessary innovation. And like I said, the only two times I had any problems healing tattoos, there was Saniderm wrap somewhere in the mix. So, and both were also blackouts. So, full color saturation essentially, and Saniderm, bad combo. I never had any other problems other than those times. So, with that said, obviously I had another session with Alex today. This was essentially the penultimate session that she'll do on me, at least during her time here at the shop. And as always, it was a really smooth session, so I will go ahead and show that off. And while I'm down there, I'll show off kind of how all the other leg tattoos are doing, since it's been a little while since I've had a leg tattoo to do that with. So I'll lead off with an update on the Mozart portrait, my dog portrait. I think this was the last one I had worked on. I had, I think, 4 sessions in a row on my legs, and I think this was the last one we did. And he is good and healed now, and very, very bright. He was bright for a first pass, and he's brighter now. He's also darker where he needed to be, but he can still get a little bit more detail in there, for sure. That is the dog. That's a really, really good image of the dog. And I said it before, but I think that this one looks better over black than it would have over negative space. Where if we had done it over negative space, we would have had to really insinuate the light and really play with the gray and black tones a lot more, where Terry was instead able to just build those lighter tones in over the blackout with opaques and then brightening with white later. Down the road, he will be getting a color background as well. It was just a lot to do because the second pass was basically a full second pass, so the whole thing was redone. But in the next time we touch this, it'll just be refining and detailing, and so there won't be as much in packing white and black to the actual tattoo. So we'll be more strictly focusing on details, highlights, and then we can do the background then. While we're at it, this one is also healed, the bat third pass. So I'll see if I can show this nice and clear for you guys. That third pass on this, the details and highlights, did a lot. That's the amount of detail that we have in this color on black tattoo it's more than you could find in most color tattoos done on normal skin. And I really think that Alex killed it on the bat. That's fucking stunning. All the little highlights she did really popped this thing out even more. It was already pretty goddamn good for what it is, but it's way better now. So I couldn't be much more stoked with that guy. And the second pass on the red background really helped too. So the knee tattoo is going next. That's going to be next week's project with Alex. We're going to be doing that 6 days from now. And we'll be able to build some more detail in there, tighten up in the kneecap. It needs quite a bit of help. and that would always be the worst of it anyway. And then I don't think that the red background up here will be healed enough to do it again. It's still a little bit chapped where we did that red background when we did the bad highlights. The blue and the yellow and the red in the mouth and stuff like that, that can all go again because it's been quite a while since we did this. And so I think it's probably been a month and a half or maybe even 2 months since we did this guy. So he did pretty good for a first pass, but again, it is a knee, so, you know, temper your expectations. He'll have a lot more detail and different color palette, not palette, but different tones built into him after the second pass, so a lot more lifelike. The first pass on color on black tattoo should always just be about establishing the color base and then refine from there. With that said, that's some of the best first pass white I have, so that took really, really well for whatever reason. And again, that blue in there is the same blue that's in the rose leaves. That's turquoise. And again, I found it very interesting that the turquoise done over top of white on black is more green, and the turquoise done straight over black is definitely blue. Moving along, we have the candy canes. Just doing candy cane stuff. Hasn't changed. If anything, looks a little bit better as it's had more time to settle in. And definitely not fading or vanishing or anything stupid like that. It's been quite a while since we've touched this now. So, see if I can show the Nosferatu off. Again, no change here. Just figure I'll show them all while I'm down here. If I can. The Nosferatu's hard to show. So, that one hasn't been touched in months either. And then the little alien pumpkin dude that my wife did. That's settled in now. It's been a little while. Still a little dry in some places. But second pass is super bright. So I'm super happy with that guy. Then, yeah, the mimic on the back of my other calf, which is very, very hard to show off. He's settling in nice too. He'll get a second pass here probably next month. So, Mr. Hanky obviously always steals the show. He's a little swollen today from the inflammation from my newest tattoo. But, yeah, he's looking charming as ever. So then, yeah, we did the second pass on the Mindflayer, and he is a lot more crisp now. He's also got more of an evil, sinister look to him now, so more menacing, which is fitting for if you know anything about Mindflayers and what they're supposed to do. He's not exactly the nicest guy, so yeah, Alex used a couple of different pinks, again with the, which one was it? Oh, fuck. I can't remember the main pink right now. It's slipping my mind. But we used an addition of bubblegum pink this time as well. Fuchsia pink. That's the main pink that we used the first pass. So there's more fuchsia now, and then bubblegum pink. And this lovely skin tone was used in the face. I can't remember what that one's called right now either. Yeah, and then again that gamma green. Is super strong. It goes in the same way it heals, essentially. Whatever you see as it's going in is essentially how it heals. So it was pretty bright even for a first pass, and it's brighter now. Yeah, I couldn't be much happier with how the Mindflayer looks, and there is more detail that we can do yet. There's some more highlights that Alex wants to do, and she swears she will find a way to do more on these tattoos. She doesn't want to leave them at second passes. She's really happy with how the back came off with the third pass, so we'll figure out a way to do the final touches on this guy. So yeah, next week, like I said, we'll be working on this one. And yeah. So whenever I show off a leg tattoo, I'll probably just brush over most of them, at least until it's established that they're not going anywhere. I mean, some of those tattoos are going on a year old now, and they're not. If anything, they've gotten better. But because I can't talk with my legs while I'm down there, I'll just show those things off casually. And I think it'll be quicker and quicker as time goes on. I plan on having very full legs over the next year or so. I know what's going in most places. I don't know exactly what each of them will look like. It will vary a little, but I have loose plans for most of the big space and even some of the filler on my legs. So it's just about time to get there. Each of these is going to be 2 to 3 passes. So everything that I do on my legs now will take 2 to 3 times as long as the first leg sleeves did. So that is something to bear in mind if you're considering this, is that it will be like slow motion compared to what it is like to get your first layer. So most people aren't doing a full bodysuit though, so if you're just working on a sleeve, you can do it pretty quickly. So and if I could, I would be showing you guys how my back is looking all the time too, or at least every now and then, because I can't face you guys with my back. It's a little bit difficult, but I've actually said to Terry I'd like to take some nice healed photos and a video of it out in the outside the shop the next session we have, just because it's settled in so nicely, and I think people are expecting things to fall apart over time, and so it's good to just kind of show updates on how things are settling in, especially for something like my back piece where it is just such a big kind of one-off settled piece that I'm not going to be doing a million revisions on, like the rose sleeve or the Cthulhu sleeve, right? These are kind of always open to be working in progress, right? Whereas something like my back, that's more of a finished, settled piece that if there was ever to be any more, it would be a full redo. And I can't even imagine that. I'm so happy with what's there. And it really is everything I wanted it to be already. I don't have any ideas to revise that. It is Krampus. It's a winter scene, you know. I got everything I wanted out of that. And people are going to say, yeah, but you said that about other things. It's just the back is something that I've always felt this way about. I like to get it done, have a big cool piece, and just leave it. It's not something I interact with that often. It's just nice to know it's there. Same thing. I haven't revised my ass tattoos a million times either. I have them, but I almost forget about them. And the back is very much like that. Anyway, I will be talking to you guys here again next week. Rick and I are going to be working on the face, I believe, of the Cthulhu again, brightening it up more. We haven't hit the face since we started brightening everything up and changing the color palette, so should be a good session. And then I have 2 more sessions next week, one with Terry and one with Alex, so it'll be an eventful week. All right, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.